Francis, I'm just going to go out for a couple of hours, okay?
And where are you going, exactly?
Well, one of my friends is moving away later this week, and I'd like to see her at least once before she goes.
Your job is to look after the house. Why do you keep going off and leaving your responsibilities?
It's not like I go out that often, Francis. I only go out around once or twice a month. I would hardly say that I keep going off and leaving my responsibilities.
Well, every woman should be aware that when they get married, looking after the house becomes their #1 priority. You should refrain from going out unless it's completely necessary. A trip to the shops, for example, is a necessary trip out. Visiting friends just because is not. If you go out, who will be looking after the house?
I don't see what I need to be looking after the house for. It's not going to get messed up during the couple of hours that I'm going to be out. It's not that I'm leaving the door wide open and going out. I make sure the front door is locked tightly and all the windows are closed whenever I leave the house. And it's not even like I'm going to be leaving the house empty. You're going to be here, aren't you?
Are you telling me that I should stay here and look after the house? At my age? Are you telling me that I can't go out?
So basically what you're saying is that I shouldn't go out, right?
I'm not necessarily saying that you shouldn't ever go out. I'm just saying that if you're making plans, you should ask me for permission to go out in advance.
Yes, fine. I'll make sure to ask you next time. But staying inside all the time is really bad for your health, you know. You go out to meet friends at the weekend, don't you? So why shouldn't I be able to go out and stretch my legs every now and again as well? You go out because you feel all stuffy inside, right? Well, I feel the same.
You're much younger than me. You can't compare us at all. You have many more responsibilities than I do. I've already fulfilled my role as a woman. I gave birth to 2 healthy sons and raised them until adulthood. You're just starting out on your journey as a housewife. You still have so much to do and so much to learn. You'll earn your freedom once you've successfully raised your children. I would never have dared to tell my mother-in-law that I was leaving the house for personal reasons in the early days of my marriage.
I seem to remember you saying that you were going to treat me like the daughter you never had before I married your son and moved into your house. Now it's clear that she never wanted a daughter. She wanted a domestic servant. You must be tired after a long day at work today.
Oh no, you must be much more tired than me.
Nah, I feel like I've barely done anything, to be honest. By the way, honey, I've been thinking, should we bring up swapping rooms with your parents again?
Why? Are you uncomfortable with us having the bigger room?
Yeah, I kind of am. I don't like that we get the biggest bedroom in the house when your parents are much older and could do with the comfort and the space more than us.
My dad insisted that we take the big room, so I think he would just be offended more than anything else if we tried to swap back.
But what bothers me the most is how your mom keeps going to sleep in the living room by herself. I'm worried that she feels too cramped in the small room with your dad.
She prefers it that way, so don't worry too much about it. Even before you moved in and we started sleeping in the big room, she would go and sleep by herself in the living room.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Ah! Mom, what are you doing? You can't just come into other people's bedrooms without knocking. Oh, stop whining. It's not like I haven't done this before. It's late already. Why aren't you asleep? Mom, with all due respect, it's none of your business whether we're asleep yet or not. Well, of course it's my business when you're talking so loud that you're keeping me awake. I wouldn't be surprised if the neighbors came round to complain about how loud you're being. And then I would die of embarrassment. Try to remember that you don't live here alone. Your father and I are old, you know, and we need to get a full night's sleep in order to function well the next day. What on earth are you doing staying up this late? Especially on a weeknight. Whatever we do at night is entirely our business, Mom, so please just butt out already. Why do you have to come in here and make us feel uncomfortable in our own home? Well, if you're planning on making babies, you should wait and do it when you've moved out of here. You said you wanted to get your own place in around a year anyway, didn't you? Surely you can wait until then. Well, if you keep violating our privacy, we'll move out even earlier than that. We'll get a loan or something. I doubt you would even get approved for a loan in your current financial situation. And even if you did, you wouldn't be able to pay it off and would just end up taking out loan after loan after loan. Well, I'm sure being harassed by the bank isn't going to be that different from being harassed by you, so I doubt our lives are going to change that much. Can you please just leave us alone now, Mom? And if you're planning on coming back, please make sure you knock next time. I may be your son, but that doesn't mean that you don't have to respect my privacy.
There's no need to push me!
Leave us alone now, Mom, please. I'm sorry, honey. My mom really hasn't been respecting our boundaries, has she?
Yeah, I would really appreciate it if she would stop doing things like that.
If she tries anything like that again, I'll be way firmer with her.
Congratulations to the two of you. I can't believe we're going to be grandparents already. Make sure you take good care of your health throughout the pregnancy, Zoe.
Of course I will. I'll try and be especially careful from now on. Even if things get hard, it will all be worth it when we have a lovely, healthy little baby.
If that son of mine makes things difficult for you and isn't waiting on you hand and foot during your pregnancy, make sure you tell me about it. I'll make sure he's on his best behavior. And let me know if he's not pulling his weight after the baby is born either.
There's no need to worry about that, Dad. I'm ready to cater to her every need, and I'll be the best dad this baby could ever ask for when they're born.
Well, I don't know why you feel the need to say that to our son when ultimately it's the woman's job to look after herself during pregnancy and to be the primary caregiver of the baby.
Of course he's going to need to look after her while she's pregnant. If she's stressed, then it might cause problems with the birth. If he's a nice doting husband throughout the whole thing, then surely it will mean that Zoe will be able to have a smooth delivery without any worries. You got really angry with me for not paying you enough attention during your pregnancies, and I regret not being more attentive to you back then. You were right in saying that the man should make more effort to do things for his wife when she's going through the discomfort of pregnancy.
Did I say that? I don't remember. Anyway, you two said you were going to wait a year before trying for a baby, but I guess things are moving faster than we had expected. It's not my ideal situation, but I suppose I should congratulate you. Is there anything you're really craving at the moment, Zoe? After all, pregnancy is one of the few times us women can give in to our cravings without judgment. Is that really you, Mom? It's unlike you to be so considerate of Zoe like this. Well, when I was pregnant, your grandmother would never let me eat what I wanted, even when my cravings were getting intense. And I was so upset about it that I vowed to never be that kind of mother-in-law when I had daughters-in-law of my own. So you're willing to be nice about that, but you're not willing to respect our privacy and will happily barge into our room in the middle of the night without knocking? Well, it is my house at the end of the day. Surely I should be able to go wherever I want, whenever I want. Mom, you have to understand that our generation do things differently to yours, and we have this thing called boundaries. And when we set one, like I did the last time you came into our room without knocking, you're meant to respect them.
Your mom was definitely in the wrong for not giving you your privacy. I'll make sure she doesn't do anything like that again.
I really don't know what the big deal is about this. But fine, I'll make sure that I knock next time, okay? Anyway, Zoe, is there anything you feel like eating right now? I'll get it for you.
Is it really okay to ask for whatever I like?
Yes, of course. Go ahead.
I want to eat pizza.
Pizza? Why would you want to eat something so unhealthy? Try and think of something with a little more nutritional value instead.
But you said you'd get me anything I wanted.
Just get her some pizza already. If that's what she wants to eat, that's what she's going to eat.
Yeah, Mom. You'd be going back on your word if you made her change her mind like that. But still, she should be taking her health into more consideration now that she's pregnant. She's eating for two now, so she needs to be more mindful about the nutritional value of the things she's putting into her body. I think it's best to steer clear of all junk food during pregnancy.
She really doesn't cease to find different ways to get on people's nerves. If she was going to be like this, then she never should have said that she would get me whatever I wanted.
What time do you call this? I was expecting you back much earlier. Honey, you go ahead and take a shower first, okay?
Look at my lovely son, demonstrating how good of a father he's going to be already. He's being considerate of his baby before anything else.
It's actually my wife that I'm being considerate of. Well, her body is no longer her own, you know. As long as she's pregnant, she and the baby are essentially one and the same. But don't go around thinking that you can use the baby as an excuse to always put yourself before my son. I don't want to see my precious boy suffering because of you. Mom, I'm not suffering at all. I enjoy making sure Zoe and the baby are well looked after. This is only the beginning, you know. You'll soon be eating those words, let me tell you. Caring for a pregnant woman is hard work. 9 months go by way slower than you expect. And when the baby is born, a whole new challenge awaits you. I'm sure she'll have you running around after her, fetching this and that, and you won't have a moment's peace.
She could at least wait until I'm in the shower to talk about me like that. Though she's talking so loudly that I bet she probably intended for me to hear everything.
Mom, why do you keep talking like this? I don't know why you insist on taking this negative attitude towards Zoe. However hard things may be for me, they will never be as hard as they're going to be for Zoe, who is the one who has to carry and birth the baby. How can you be so cold towards her when you complain about how hard things were when you had me and Paul to this day? You're always saying that Dad didn't pull his weight enough, and to this day you still resent him for it. So if you really think this period is just as hard for men as it is for women, then you should stop giving him a hard time about it. Your father really was useless back then. It was basically as if I was going through pregnancy as a single mother. Thinking about it now makes me feel so angry. Exactly. So stop being mean to Zoe and coddling me unnecessarily. I don't want to hear any of this anymore, so just hurry up and go to bed already, Mom. But still, there's no need for you to be working too hard to look after her during her pregnancy when the real important period is after the baby is born. We don't want you running out of energy now so that you won't be able to do anything then. Your dad was very hands-on once you were born. It was just the pregnancy where he wasn't really the best. But that did mean that he had lots of energy to be attentive when you were in diapers. Mom, I told you that I don't want to hear any more of this from you. I don't want Zoe to be all stressed out because of you and your ridiculous attitudes. I don't think you're being very fair. I'm your mother and I'm just looking out for you. It's because you're my mother that I want you to stop saying things like this, especially in earshot of Zoe. I know what's best for me, my wife, and our baby, and nothing you say is going to influence my decisions. Even though it's Thanksgiving, not that many people from the family are coming over, so we don't really need to prepare that much food.
Okay, Francis.
You can't really do too much anyway because you're pregnant, and if we make as much as usual, there will just be leftovers, so there's no point in going overboard unnecessarily. It would be a waste of effort, time, and money to make too much.
Yes, I agree.
I'm going to prepare the turkey, so you can just chop the vegetables over there.
Okay, sure. I'll do that. By the way, are Paige and Paul coming today?
I don't know. I guess they'll show up whenever they show up.
They only live in the next neighborhood over. Should I get Peter to give them a call and tell them to come over? That way Paige can lend us a hand and we can get things done faster.
Oh no, it's fine. Both of us are here, so it's not like we really need an extra pair of hands. Let's just do our best to get everything done as quickly as possible between us. If there's anything left to do when Paige gets here, she can jump in and help us then. But there's no point in calling her over especially.
Oh, okay. If you say so.
Hi, Francis. We're here. Oh, hi, Paige. It's so lovely to see you.
I'm so sorry. I would have come earlier to help out with the food preparations, but I ended up sleeping in late.
I even set my alarm and everything so I wouldn't be late, but it just didn't go off for some reason. Oh, it's fine. Don't worry about it at all. These things happen. Oh no, I feel so bad about it. You must have had a lot on your plate preparing all that food between the two of you. It's fine! Zoe has been more than capable of handling it. And you've been the one at the helm for the last few Thanksgivings, so you deserve a break. Still, it makes me feel really bad to leave other people to do all the work. Oh, you're so sweet. But honestly, there's nothing to worry about. Zoe needs to get used to the way things work in this family anyway. This is her first Thanksgiving since she and Peter got married, after all. I suppose you're right. I'm guessing you guys haven't had anything to eat yet, right? No, we haven't. I'm really hungry. Everything smells so good. I was absolutely salivating as soon as I walked through the door. We can't have you going hungry now, can we? I'll get you something to eat right away. These two really don't spare a single thought for me, huh? I was the one slaving away in the kitchen for the past 4 hours, and nobody seems to care at all. Zoe! Yes, Francis? Be a doll and dish the food up, will you? Me? Well, yes, who else would I be talking to? But Did you not hear your sister-in-law say she hasn't had anything to eat all day? Just give her and Paul a couple of plates of whatever is ready whilst they wait for the rest, okay? But I'm really busy now preparing the rest of the food. Just turn the stove off for now and go back to it later. Do I really have to tell you to do something so basic? Do you not have any common sense? Can I remind you that I haven't had anything to eat today either? Well, what were you doing this whole time that meant you couldn't eat anything? We're in the kitchen, surrounded by food. Huh? You should have just been picking as you went. That's how the chef eats on Thanksgiving. Didn't you know? It's on you for not doing that. You don't have the right to be upset with other people forgetting to eat before you if you hadn't been taking advantage of your situation. Oh, hi there, Zoe. I think this might be the first time I've seen you since your wedding. How are you? Oh, I'm fine. Don't worry about us. We can dish up our own food. You just carry on with what you're doing. You shouldn't exert yourself too much being pregnant and all. It would be quite monstrous of us to ask a pregnant woman to do everything for us now, wouldn't it? Well, I already am doing everything for you, aren't I? Don't worry about her, she's fine. You just sit down here and relax. Have a snack on these sweet potatoes whilst you wait for Zoe to dish up your food. Okay then, if you're sure. But Francis, those sweet potatoes are for when everyone gets here in the evening. What do you mean? We're just having lunch at home. For dinner, we're going to be going out to eat. But you said that I needed to make sure the sweet potatoes were set aside for dinner. Oh, did I? I must have just said that out of habit. Well, anyway, we're going out to dinner. Paige said that she'll be paying for everyone. Did you forget to tell Zoe, Francis? Oh, that makes me feel so bad. She's probably done so many unnecessary preparations. Honestly, these two will be the death of me. I'm so tired. I've been on my feet all day, so it's going to be nice to finally lie down. Zoe! Yes, Francis? You two will be sleeping in the smaller room tonight. Excuse me? Paul and Paige are going to be sleeping in your room tonight. What are you saying? This is our bedroom. This is our bed. You can't just kick us out and say that they're going to get to sleep there. I don't know why you're so surprised. We haven't even changed the sheets or anything. The idea of another couple sleeping in our bed is weird and quite frankly makes me very uncomfortable. Why is it weird? It's not like they're strangers or anything. They're family. Oh, don't worry about us, Francis. We're fine sleeping in the smaller room. I don't want to be making Zoe feel uncomfortable in her own home. You stay where you are, Paige. Paul is my firstborn, Surely it makes sense for the oldest and his wife to have the bigger room when they come to visit. Besides, you and Peter get to be nice and comfy in this room every night, Zoe. Paul and Paige are just here for a flying visit, so surely you should allow them a little comfort just for one night. But even so, Zoe is pregnant at the end of the day. The other room doesn't have a proper bed in it, so I'd feel bad making her sleep in there. Many a pregnant woman has slept on the floor in even worse conditions and still given birth to perfectly healthy babies. Not being in the ideal sleeping conditions for one night won't kill her. Come on, Zoe, out you come. Give Paige some space already.
Ouch! That hurts! Please don't grab me like that.
Don't worry about her and get a good night's sleep, Paige. Sorry, Zoe. In this house, what Francis says goes. Honey, what are you doing in this room?
Honey, I'm sorry.
Are you crying? My mom made you cry, didn't she? Don't tell me that she told you to get out of our room and gave it to Paul and Paige.
Yeah, she said that it was only natural for us to give up our comfort for them because they're older than us.
That's total nonsense. I'm really not comfortable with them sleeping in our bed, especially without our permission. You wait right here. I'm going to go and talk to her and set the record straight. Mom! Why are you yelling? It's the middle of the night. The neighbors will complain about us. What? What is it? Are you out of your mind, Mom? What are you talking about? Why would you give our room to Paul and Paige without even asking us about it first? Well, Paul is your older brother. It's only right that he and his wife should get to use the biggest room in the house. But that's our room. You have no right to just expect us to be fine with being kicked out like that. Why do I have to keep repeating myself? This is getting very tiresome, you know. Hey, Paul, get out of our room right this instant. Your brother was working late today, but he still made time to come round and see us on Thanksgiving. You should be a little more considerate of how tired he must be. Why is it such a big deal to have to sleep in the smaller room for one night? May I remind you that Zoe is pregnant? If something happens to the baby because you forced her into uncomfortable conditions, are you willing to take responsibility? I don't know what I did wrong to deserve to be spoken to like this by my own son. When your father comes back inside after his cigarette break, I'm sure he's going to be on my side as well. Well, he can say whatever he wants. If neither of you are willing to hear us out, we'll just move out of this house right now. I don't want to put up with another second of you mistreating my wife and my unborn child. Ugh! Ouch! I think you need to know your place, young man. You're staying under my roof rent-free, and I'm your mother. You need to show me a little more respect. Just because you've started building a family of your own, that doesn't mean that you get to start blatantly disrespecting your parents to their faces. Nothing good comes from alienating your parents, let me tell you. Are you not embarrassed to be causing such a scene in front of your brother and his wife? Francis, I really don't think your behavior is acceptable here. Oh, you startled me. Why do you two have to keep on yelling like this in the middle of the night? No matter how angry you may be, how could you think it's okay to slap your own son around the face like that? You're saying that Peter should be embarrassed about causing a scene in front of Paul and Paige? Well, I think you should be embarrassed for slapping Peter in front of them like that. Excuse me? Don't you be getting ideas above your station just because you're pregnant. I'm your mother-in-law. I automatically deserve your respect. How dare you raise your voice at me? I'm trying to correct my son's insolent behavior, and how I choose to discipline him is none of your business. How is it none of my business? He's my husband. However much you think you deserve unconditional respect from me, I'm not going to give it to you if you're going to raise your hand against my husband like that. And you didn't even hit him because you wanted to discipline him. You hit him because of your ridiculous pride. I think you owe him an apology. How dare you! Francis, please, calm down. Zoe, no matter how upset you are, it's no excuse to be rude to Francis like this. I think you owe her an apology. She is right, you know. This really isn't acceptable behavior towards your mother-in-law. You should keep common courtesy in mind even when you've lost your temper. I really don't know why you're all ganging up on Zoe like this. You all disgust me. I don't want to spend another second under this roof with all of you. You can spend the rest of the holiday without us.
Honey, your mom keeps calling me, and once she realized I wasn't going to pick up, she started sending me texts. She's saying I'm an irresponsible daughter-in-law with no sense of loyalty to my new family.
Don't cave in and reply to her. Turn your phone off if you have to. She doesn't deserve for us to give her the time of day.
Okay, I will.
Also, I feel really bad for your parents. They must have been shocked by us showing up in the middle of the night.
It's fine. They told us to come right away without hesitation as soon as I explained the situation to them.
I suppose we didn't really have any other choice since there was no way we could stay at my family's house after what happened.
I just feel so awful about everything that happened.
Why do you feel bad when it was clearly all my mom's fault?
Still, it mustn't be nice to fight with your family like that.
It's fine. I don't need my family if that's how they're going to behave towards me. I'm so tired of my mom so obviously preferring Paul and Paige over us. She'll happily pay attention to me when he's not there, but as soon as he shows up, I get tossed to the side like yesterday's trash.
I just can't believe that she really would go as far as to slap you like that in front of everyone.
This is why we need to stand firm and not accept any calls from her and not reply to any of her messages.
Yes, of course. Honey, I don't think it's convenient for us to stay here any longer. We're really far away from your work, so it's taking you ages to commute. And all our clothes and stuff are still at your parents' house. How about we just swallow our pride for now and head back there? We've had a few days respite now. Your parents must be worried about us, so maybe it's a little cruel for us to carry on ignoring their calls.
I suppose you're right.
Would you look at that? I just turned my phone on and a call from your mom is coming through immediately.
Give it to me. I'll talk to her. Hello?
Is that you, Peter?
Yeah, it's me.
Are you really not coming back? I admit that what I did that night was wrong. I'll apologize. So why don't you just come back already? Your dad is also feeling really bad about the whole thing.
Fine, we'll come back this evening.
That's great. Will you be having dinner with us as well?
I'm not sure about that.
Oh, come on, have dinner with us. I'll make all of your favorite foods. Also tell Zoe that I'm sorry, okay?
Okay, sure. I will tell her.
I never would have thought that she would reach out to us and apologize.
I know, right? This is strange. Well, I guess we should get ready to head over there this evening.
It's so nice to see you two again. What are you carrying there? My parents bought you some pastries from your favorite bakery. We hope that you will enjoy them. Oh, that's so nice of them. Dinner's almost ready, so make yourselves comfortable. Why is she being so nice to us today? I feel like something is afoot here. Oh?
What's wrong, Zoe?
Honey, our stuff.
What about our stuff?
I feel like a lot of it is missing.
Wait, what? What do you mean, missing?
The cot we bought for the baby and a bunch of clothes and shoes are gone. The maternity clothes that my mom bought me, those are also gone. And the special Comfort Soul shoes she bought me so that I wouldn't be in as much pain whilst I'm pregnant. What's happened to them?
What? What could have happened to them? Did somebody take them?
And even the matching sunglasses that my aunt sent us from Mexico are gone.
Oh my goodness, you're right. Where could they have gone? Don't tell me. Mom? Mom! Can you come here a second?
What's the problem, Peter?
Did you do something to our stuff?
Oh, about that. I thought you guys had a little too much stuff, so I gave some of it to your brother and Paige to use instead.
You did what? Mom, you had absolutely no right and you know it. There you go again! Yelling at your poor old mother! Do you think you can just raise your voice at me however you like now, huh?
Come on, Francis. Surely you can see that this was wrong of you to do that. Why would you give Paul and Paige things that aren't even yours without asking our permission first?
I don't know why you're so upset over this. I only gave them things that you weren't really using. I didn't touch any of the things I've seen you using often.
It makes me especially uncomfortable that you gave them all the things that were gifts from my mom. Those were not things that I don't use. They were things that I am going to use eventually when the time is right. And whether we were using them or not isn't important. The problem here is that you can't just give away things that don't belong to you. In what world do you think that would be okay?
Mom, you better call Paul right now and tell him to bring our stuff back. This is basically no different to theft. What do you mean, theft? We're all family here. I would just call it sharing. If you don't call him, I'm going straight round to his house. Hey, where do you think you're going? He needs to get up early tomorrow because he's going on a business trip. You shouldn't disturb him. Paul! Paul! Open the door!
Oh, Peter, what are you doing banging on our door like that? Didn't you go back to Francis's house already?
I heard that you guys stole some of our stuff.
We didn't steal anything. We just borrowed a couple of things from family. I don't see any problem with that.
Give our stuff back right this instant. Even if we are family, you should know that it's not right to take other people's stuff without asking.
I really don't like this tone you're taking with me. And why are you just standing there watching, Zoe? Are you really going to let your husband talk to me like this? I don't see any need to interfere when I agree with everything he's saying. Even if Frances said she was giving the stuff to you, surely you should have had the decency to say no, knowing full well that it was our stuff and that she hadn't asked our permission to give it to you. It's bad enough that she thought it was okay to give you our stuff, but it's worse that you were willing to accept it.
Well, I don't think we've done anything wrong. What's going on here?
Honey, your brother and his wife have the audacity to show up on our doorstep and accuse us of being thieves.
What makes you think that you can just come here and make a fuss like this? We have elderly neighbors and it's getting late, you know. You call yourself the responsible older brother. If that were true, you would never have accepted my things as a gift from Mom. I don't know why neither of you can see that this is not acceptable behavior.
Frances! Why do you keep slapping my husband? He's your own son! I can't believe you would keep behaving in this way towards him. You would never dream of doing something like this to Paul, would you? So why do it to Peter? Get out of my way!
Did you really just push me out of the way? What on earth has gotten into you?
If you're all going to insist on acting like this, then we don't want to be a part of this toxic family. I can't even stand the sight of your faces anymore.
Who are you calling? You're not calling my husband, are you?
Hi, Mom. Yeah, it's me. So, as expected, things didn't work out with going back to Francis's house. Yeah, if it's okay with you and Dad, Peter and I may need to stay with you a little while longer. I can't say exactly how long it will be, but it will have to be until we can afford to move out and get a place of our own.
Yeah, of course that's okay with us. There's always a place for you in our home. Don't worry if it's going to be late. You can show up whenever. Are you okay? Did something happen?
Whilst we were staying with you over the past few days, Frances stole a bunch of our stuff and gave it to Peter's brother and his wife.
What nonsense! Give me the phone right now and let me talk to her. Hello? Miriam, is that you? Would you be so kind as to explain to me why your daughter is so disrespectful? Did you never teach her how to talk to her elders? Why would anyone show respect to somebody who clearly doesn't respect them back? Even if you are her mother-in-law, that doesn't change the fact that you stole her stuff. Seniority doesn't mean you automatically deserve respect, you know. You need to earn it. Do you really think the way you've been treating Zoe and your son is normal and acceptable behavior? No, it is not. Excuse me. I refuse to send my son to live with a woman who is willing to blatantly insult me. You're obviously going to mistreat my son. Oh, look who's talking. Are you saying that you've been the perfect mother to him whilst he's been living under your roof? Even if I am a mother who doesn't teach her daughter to respect her elders, he'll be a million times more comfortable with me than with you. There's no one to blame for your son and my daughter wanting to get away from you other than yourself. How dare you be so rude to me? Well, don't think that I will just sit here and take it. I can dish it out as well. Oh, whatever. Stop wasting my time and just accept that your son and my daughter are going to be living with me from now on. If you don't let them go without a fuss, I'm prepared to drive down there and give you a piece of my mind face to face. You're not the only one who knows how to play dirty. I've been through a lot in my life, but never have I encountered a woman as awful as you. This woman is clearly out of her mind. How dare she? Give Zoe her phone back already. Hi, Miriam. I'm so sorry about all this. I know it's a little sudden, but my own mother is dead to me from today onwards, so I really hope you'll be willing to accept me as your son. Of course I will, sweetheart. I've always thought of you as the son I never had. Don't worry about anything else, and just bring my daughter safely back home, okay? I'll make sure your room is ready for when you come back. Thank you so much. Just where do you think you're going? I won't allow you to go and stay with that woman!
Francis, you need to realize that the person in the wrong here is you. You have created the situation. You have pushed us away. And now you've lost any chance of having a relationship with your grandchild, and your youngest son will probably never talk to you again. Also, I'm not sure if you're aware, but my parents are in a much better financial situation than you are, and we will be much more comfortable there. Until we hear a sincere apology from you, I have no intention of giving you the time of day. We're really not coming back this time, so you'd better be prepared to start doing all the chores without me again.
Have you lost your mind, Zoe?
As for you two, if you want to be treated like adults, start acting like adults. It's embarrassing watching you act like this at your age. You're so immature and petty, and if you ever become a mother, I pity the poor baby who will have to grow up in your household. I'm sure they would end up very messed up because of you, and end up leaving you one day just like Peter is leaving Francis. Please, for goodness sake, hurry up and grow up already. Yes?
Hi, Zoe. It's me, Francis.
Yes, I know.
I don't know what I did in my past life to deserve such a rude and ungrateful daughter-in-law like you, but I'm not willing to lose my son just because of you. How about you stop this nonsense already and come back to live with us?
I told you before, we're not going back until we've heard a sincere apology from you.
Are you really going to carry on being stubborn about this? Families shouldn't cut each other off just because of one silly disagreement.
I saw that you gave the pastries my parents bought you to Paige and Paul. I follow Paige's social media, and she posted pictures of her eating them the other night.
Oh, well, of course, if you'd been there, we would have had them at home and shared them with you. But because you weren't, we just gave them to Paul and Paige.
That just goes to show how little you appreciated my parents' gift. You always say one thing and then do another. It really makes me think that I just can't trust you. I'm sorry, but I really can't stand the sound of your voice anymore, so I'm hanging up. Please don't call me anymore. If you have something you really have to say to me, you can just send me a text.
What did you just say?
If you try and call me again after this, I won't pick up, so you shouldn't even bother.
You do know that I know where you live, right?
Are you going to come here and harass us?
Of course I'm going to come! I'm not going to lose my son to the likes of you!
Even if you do come, I'm not sure if Peter is going to want to see you after you slapped him in front of Paul and Paige twice. You better be prepared to be heading home empty-handed after your son rejects you. But if you're willing to take that risk, then by all means, come. All of that happened last week. We're currently settling into our new life at my parents' house. We also were able to get everything Paul and Paige stole from us back. My mom asked my uncle to help Peter to get a job in his company, which is much closer to my parents' place than his old job, and he will be starting there next week. Frances did actually come here once, but we didn't give her a chance to speak to us. Instead, my mom poured a bucket of water over her head from the second-floor window, and then she ended up leaving, defeated. After that, she stopped contacting us altogether. We did, however, get a call from my father-in-law, saying he was sorry for everything that had happened. Peter decided that he wanted a clean slate and blocked and deleted all of his family's numbers and social media accounts. Now Frances can just rely on her favorite daughter-in-law, Paige, to do everything for her. I also refuse to have anything to do with that family after the way they treated us.
Hey, Zoe.
Oh my goodness, Paige! What are you doing here?
Can we talk?
I don't really have anything to say to you, though.
Even so, we've come all this way to find you. Can you at least hear us out? Well, nobody told you to come here, did they? I have no idea what you want from us, but you're not welcome here. Hey, that's a little harsh. Come on, honey, calm down. We didn't come here to fight, did we? I guess not. Let's just head inside, honey. I have no interest in hearing what these two have to say. Won't you just give us 1 minute of your time?
Fine, I'll give you exactly 1 minute.
The thing is, Zoe, would you perhaps consider going back to live with Frances? Without you around, she keeps making me come over and do the cleaning for her, and she keeps asking me to accompany her to every single doctor's appointment. You know what I'm like, Zoe. I can't do things like that.
If you don't want to do those things, you can just cut Frances off the way that we did.
But she cooks for us and brings us gifts every now and again, and she would also be a huge help if we decide to have a kid in the future.
Ah, is that so?
You were so good to her for all of that time. Even though you didn't always see eye to eye with her, surely you can't be so heartless as to really decide to never see her again.
So let me get this straight. You've come all the way to my house to ask me to come back and be Frances's servant again because you don't want to do it. Is that right?
I wouldn't say servant. You guys had a good relationship, didn't you? I always thought you two looked so sweet together, cooking and doing chores together. Stop sugarcoating your words.
You just want to carry on lazing around all day whilst Frances waits on you and leaves me to do all the dirty work that you don't enjoy.
I just think that you're way more suited to looking after elderly people than I am. I'm giving you a compliment. Do you have any idea how much I'm holding back my anger right now, Paige? How dare you come here and try to manipulate my wife into doing the things you don't want to do? Is this really all you came to say to us? If that's it, we don't want to hear any more. Please just go home already.
Wait a second, honey.
Hello?
Hi, Frances. Long time no see.
What are you doing, calling me out of the blue after so much radio silence?
Paige and Paul have come over to my house to see us.
Why would they do that? To ask you to come back and live with me again?
Oh no, Peter and I have no intention of going back to live with you again. However, it looks like Paul and Paige would love to take our place and move into our old room as soon as possible.
Zoe! What on earth are you saying?
Paige was just telling me how she was always so jealous of me for getting to live with you. She said she would love to take this opportunity to move in and get to spend time with you 24/7. I know how much she dotes on you, so I wouldn't dare get in between you. I'm happy to graciously take a step back and let her take the coveted place of your live-in daughter-in-law.
Oh, really? Paul and Paige want to come and live with us? I'm over the moon. I knew that something good was going to happen to me soon enough. I don't need you two anymore if I have my firstborn and his lovely wife by my side. I knew that they would come through and show that they love me the most. I'll go and prepare the room for them straight away.
You'd better be quick. They said they want to move in as soon as they can. I know that I couldn't possibly compete with the affection they have for you.
Anyway, I don't know why I'm wasting my time talking to you now. Now that they're coming, I'll have to throw away the rest of your stuff you left here in order to make room for them.
Yes, that's fine.
Zoe, what have you done?
I'm giving you a golden opportunity to have the close relationship with Frances that you said you thought was so lovely. I knew she'd be happy, but I didn't realize she'd be this ecstatic about it. You should have just moved in with her earlier, then all of our problems would have been solved.
I can't live with her. It will be hell. It's okay, honey. I'll just call her and tell her that the whole thing was just a big misunderstanding and that we won't be moving in with her. Wait, don't do that. If we move in with her, every day will be living hell. But if we don't, she might stop showing us preferential treatment. Let's weigh up our options and make a decision later.
You two really are professionals at being self-serving, huh? You have a little bit of a dilemma on your hands here now, don't you? If you tell her you're not going to live with her, you lose out. If you live with her, you'll be miserable day in, day out. Either way, things aren't looking too good for you guys. I'm sure you'll make the best choice possible. But to be frank, I couldn't care less about what happens to you from now on. Come on, honey. Let's head on in. The food is going to get cold.
Yes, let's. Your mom will be expecting us. Well, I guess this is goodbye now, Paul. I don't want to see you here ever again. Do you understand? Well, I guess we should head home too then, honey. You're too loud! I need quiet to think about our next move. What are you getting annoyed at me for? If I wasn't married to you, I wouldn't be in this situation. Why does your mom have to be the way she is? She drove Peter and Zoe away, so goodness knows what might be in store for us if we live with her. Should I just divorce you? Maybe that will be easier for me. Honey, you can't do that!
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe.